For years, tensions had been building. The league just wouldn't protect its biggest star. You know who we're talking about. Caitlin Clark has finally reached her breaking point, and this time, she's not holding back. After the WNBA's shocking decision to eject fellow star Sophie Cunningham, Clark has unleashed pure fury, calling out the league in a fiery outburst that no one saw coming. This isn't just about one player getting tossed. This is about favoritism, power, and a growing divide tearing women's basketball apart. So what really happened that led to Sophie Cunningham's sudden removal? And why is Caitlin Clark risking everything to speak out now? Buckle up, because this controversy is only getting started. It all went down on June 17, 2025, inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, during a heated showdown between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. Two of the WNBA's biggest names, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, stood right at the center of the chaos. What began as a high-stakes battle quickly turned into something much bigger than basketball. Ever since her record-breaking NCAA career and meteoric rise to WNBA superstardom, Caitlin Clark has carried the weight of the league on her shoulders, adored by fans, targeted by critics, and constantly under fire on the court. Game after game, Clark's taken brutal hits that left fans questioning, is this just rookie hazing or something much more personal? Enter Sophie Cunningham, the no-nonsense enforcer and fiercely loyal teammate who's become Clark's unofficial bodyguard. She's never been one to back down, and during that fateful game, her instincts took over. When Clark hit the floor midway through the second quarter after yet another harsh foul, Sophie didn't hesitate. She stormed in, face to face with the opponent who delivered the hit, and chaos erupted. Shoving, shouting, players rushing in, referees scrambling to restore order. After a long review, the refs dropped the hammer. Sophie Cunningham ejected for escalating the fight. Within minutes, social media exploded. Fans weren't calling her a villain. They were calling her a hero. The only one willing to stand up for Caitlin Clark. But here's the twist. Why did Sophie Cunningham stand for Caitlin Clark cause such an uproar across the entire WNBA? Stick around, because this is where things explode. The breaking point. Sophie's final stand for Caitlin Clark. The crowd's roar hadn't even faded after Sophie's first ejection when things took an even darker turn. The tension that had been brewing all season long between the Indiana Fever and the rest of the league finally detonated in the final 46 seconds of that unforgettable June 28, 2025 game in Indianapolis. This wasn't basketball anymore. This was personal, emotional. Raw fans now call it the message foul. The Fever were already losing by a huge margin. The game was practically over. But for Sophie Cunningham, this wasn't about the score. It was about respect. After watching Caitlin Clark take hit after hit, game after game, shoved, tripped, elbowed, even poked in the eye, and seeing the referees look the other way every single time, Sophie finally snapped. As JCS Sheldon sprinted down the court for a fast break layup, Sophie made her move. A hard, deliberate foul that sent shockwaves through the arena. Gasps filled the crowd. Everyone knew it. This wasn't just a foul. This was a message. The refs didn't hesitate. Flagrant foul. Cunningham ejected. But to many watching, it wasn't an act of aggression. It was an act of defiance. A statement to the league that screamed, "If you won't protect Caitlin, I will." Social media blew up instantly. Some fans called her reckless. Others called her a hero. But one thing was clear. Sophie had drawn a line in the sand. When reporters asked Caitlin Clark about the chaos afterward, she tried to stay calm. "Let's talk about basketball," she said, trying to deflect. But the fire in her eyes told a different story. And Sophie? She didn't hold back. Known for her black belt in Taekwondo and her no-fear mentality, Sophie Cunningham has always been built different. But even for her, this season had pushed every limit. Later, she explained her actions in one short but powerful sentence. "I just couldn't sit there and watch Caitlin take another cheap shot. Somebody had to send a message." And the irony? Caitlin Clark's arrival saved the WNBA. Since her debut, attendance tripled, jersey sales skyrocketed, and TV ratings hit record highs. Every game she played turned into an event. Cities buzzing, arenas packed, local businesses thriving. But when Clark sat out earlier this season with a minor injury, the league felt the impact instantly. Ratings crashed 55% overnight. That number alone sent shockwaves through the sports world. Yet, even after everything she's done for the league, game after game, Caitlin Clark continues to take brutal hits, while officials just watch. After Izzy Magbagor's brutal block sent Caitlin Clark sprawling, the message from the league was crystal clear. You're on your own. And that's when Sophie Cunningham decided she'd had enough. Now, here's where Caitlin Clark's frustration hits a breaking point. What happened next pushed the entire WNBA into chaos. The moment Sophie Cunningham was tossed out of that June 28, 2025 game in Indianapolis, a chilling reality settled over the arena. Even Caitlin's protectors weren't safe anymore. The WNBA didn't just eject a player, it sent a message, a warning to anyone daring to defend Clark. But if the league thought this would silence the outrage, they couldn't have been more wrong. They didn't put out the fire, they poured gasoline on it. For Caitlin Clark, this wasn't about losing a teammate. It was about losing trust. The frustration wasn't new. It had been building since her college days. Because here's the truth. Legends like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird built their legacies on intensity, trash talk, and relentless competitiveness. They were called fierce, iconic, unstoppable. But when Caitlin Clark shows the same fire, she's called cocky, divisive, too emotional, and that's what stings the most, because no player has done more for the WNBA than her. Since Clark's debut, arenas sold out, ratings shattered records, and merchandise flew off the shelves. She single-handedly turned every Fever game into a national event. Yet despite all that, the league still couldn't give her one simple thing: protection. Now, the whispers are growing louder. Could Caitlin Clark actually walk away? Rumors swirl of multi-million-dollar offers from Europe, and even whispers of billionaire-backed independent leagues ready to pay her what she's worth and keep her safe. Online, hashtags like non-protect Caitlin Clark and let the WNBA collapse trend non-stop. Fans beg her to leave, to save herself from the chaos. Even veteran stars are speaking out. Legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Greer have urged the league to take action. And one Phoenix player even joked during the All-Star break, "Hey Caitlin, if you ever want to come to Phoenix, hit me up." But now, that joke doesn't sound so funny. With every passing day, the pressure builds, and the WNBA finds itself standing at a dangerous crossroads. One wrong move, and they could lose the biggest name in women's basketball history. So how did one rising star and her fiercest defender push an entire league to the brink? You're about to find out, because what came next divided the WNBA like never before. As the dust settled from that unforgettable June night, social media was already on fire. Within minutes of Sophie's ejection, Bart's justice for Sophie began trending. One fan wrote, "Moi sein water per damonamias tintalkaid." Sophie getting tossed for standing up for Caitlin is exactly what's wrong with this league. Another said, "She's the only one with the guts to have Clark's back. And this is the thanks she gets?" Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's reaction said it all. Usually calm, focused, and unshakable. This time, she broke her silence. Cameras caught her storming toward the officials, frustration written all over her face. After the